I recently rewatched Solo for the first time since I saw it at the cinema in 2018. Firstly, Alden Ehrenreich is perfect as a young Han Solo. The film captures the contrasting cool and buffoonery of the character well. People forget that Han isn't flawlessly suave in the original trilogy. He has many funny comedy moments, like that awkward phone call in the Death Star prison, or when he charges into an army of stormtroopers and then promptly runs in the opposite direction. He honestly has some of the funniest moments in the saga. The art design in Solo is fantastic, and it really makes this strange alien galaxy seem more lived in and believable. I love the soulful little alien in a jar singing this strange atonal alien pop song. There are great action sequences and great visual spectacles, although the lighting or maybe the colour grading can seem a bit dull and lifeless at times, but perhaps that was just my TV. However, the film is really let down by its dull, safe, and sometimes convoluted plot. I want to see young Han Solo as a gritty outlaw, a Clint Eastwood man with no name, doing heists for cold, hard cash. Instead, the film goes out of its way to make Han a soft, lovable hero long before his character arc in the original trilogy. Even when Han shoots first in this film, his victim, Tobias Beckett, makes it clear in dialogue that the murder is justified. This is a self-defeating bit of fan service because the entire reason fans prefer Han shooting Greedo first is because it demonstrates the character's grittiness and moral greyness at the beginning of A New Hope, which gives his transformation into a heroic rebel general by the end of the trilogy more significance. The story convolutedly twists and turns to introduce a dull last-minute subplot about vigilantes fighting the crime syndicate Crimson Dawn. It makes no sense that Han at this age would selflessly give up a vast reward from Crimson Dawn and side with the vigilantes, when at the end of the same film he declares his intention to start working for the vile gangster Jabba the Hutt. The film wants to have its cake and eat it. It wants young Han Solo to simultaneously be the selfless rebel hero of Return of the Jedi, and also the cool outlaw who shoots Greedo in Mos Eisley Cantina. But young Han can't be both, and the film leans too heavily into justifying all his actions and making him a safe, likeable protagonist. A space western about cool outlaw Han Solo doing heists for Crimson Dawn for money and personal gain would have been grittier, more fun, and more interesting. There is a glimmer of good story potential in Solo that could have been fleshed out a lot more. At the end of the film, Han's love interest, Kira, whom Han had spent years trying to find, abandons him, as she recognizes that their lives have taken different paths since their separation on Corellia. She claims she's done things she isn't proud of, and she feels she cannot now escape the amoral life of crime her circumstances have forced her into. If we had actually seen the darker sides of Kira's personality, if we had seen her do these things she says she isn't proud of, and no, killing a vile gangster like Dryden Voss doesn't count, and if we had seen the young, idealistic Han Solo become the more cynical character we meet in A New Hope after his abandonment by Kira, it could have been a much more interesting, tragic story. However, Kira's departure doesn't seem to impact Han's personality all that much. At the end of the film, he still seems as chipper and affable as ever. Finally, I loathe Phoebe Waller-Bridge's dated SJW parody droid character, and I especially loathe the implication that she becomes the computer consciousness of the Millennium Falcon in the original trilogy. To believe that the Falcon is inhabited by the digital ghost of this obnoxious, charmless robot would take all the magic out of the iconic starship, so it's not part of my headcanon. Her friendship with Lando Calrissian is especially unbelievable. They have no chemistry whatsoever, and I do not know what he sees in her, frankly. In conclusion, Solo had potential, but it's just too safe, inconsequential, and subsequently boring to be very rewatchable. Han is the same character at the beginning of the film as he is at the end, because the story refuses to let him be anything other than likeable. I've only seen this film twice, but at the moment I have no desire to see it again. By the way, it makes no sense for Dryden Voss to send Tobias, Solo, and Chewie on a mission to steal coaxium from an allied syndicate, because they cannot be linked directly to Crimson Dawn, only for Voss to send Kira along with them, who literally has the Crimson Dawn symbol branded on her wrist. That directly implicates the Crimson Dawn in the entire operation. That's just one plot hole I noticed in the film. I'm sure there are others, but I can't remember them. Anyway, my review, I would give it about 1.5 stars. Not very rewatchable, and its greatest sin is just that it's bland and uninteresting, and plays it too safe, and just not a very interesting or captivating portrayal of Han Solo, really. I mean, they get aspects of his character right, it's a good performance, but they just play it too safe, and I wanted to see a more gritty Han Solo. Or at least an idealistic Han Solo who becomes corrupted by Kira abandoning him. But it gives us neither of that, really. It's just very safe and bland. Alright, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.